All right, today we have one of my favorite exercises in the entire program. It's called the lifestyle audit. Now, you guys know that I talk a lot about friction, but what is friction? Friction is basically anything that makes it harder to do the thing that you want to do. Some examples here. If you want to go to the gym, but then you live really far from the gym, then your distance to the gym is your friction because you having to get in your car and then walk a lot or maybe take public transit or I don't know, endure the cold. All these things just make it harder to go to the gym, therefore you'll do it less often. Because you're doing it less often, because it's harder to do, that is a piece of friction for you. Hypothetically, if you wanted to apply to 10 Upwork jobs a day, gee, I wonder where you've done that before. But I don't know, every 5 or 10 minutes, your microphone just bugs out a little bit, or maybe it makes a big or something, then your crappy microphone is now friction because you're always worrying about your microphone. You're always wondering, I wonder if whether or not that recording worked. These little things make it harder to apply to Upwork jobs, and therefore you'll just want to do them less often. Also friction. If you want to eat healthier food, but maybe your roommate keeps on putting junk food around your kitchen, then your roommate's habits are friction because you have to exert extra willpower every single day, which makes it harder to stick to your plans. Therefore, you'll succeed less often. Basically, all of these three things make it harder to do that which you want to do, and that qualifies them as friction. Now, I'm sure you guys can tell, but you can apply this to anything, business or personal, right? A couple of those examples back there weren't business related. And my humble belief is that the majority of what most people call productivity is not necessarily having an inexhaustible source of willpower and being super focused and dedicated. All it really boils down to, logically, is just designing your life in a way that minimizes friction. If you make the things that you want to do in life and in business and in your relationships easy, you'll tend to do them more often. Human beings are basically just rats in a giant labyrinthine maze, right? And you can construct your own so that every single time you get dropped in that maze, you go to the tasty cheese and do it. If the things you want to do are easy and the things you don't want to do are hard, you'll naturally start living a better life. And that's where this lifestyle audit comes in. Now, I got the vast majority of this from an article that I've read and reread probably like 30 times by now on a website called Less Wrong. And it was framed in terms of a bug hunt. So I frame ours in terms of friction for business. They framed theirs in terms of hunting bugs in your life, right? But this is something that I just continuously come back to every single year. And every single year that I do it, I'm just able to get like 10% closer and closer and closer to that ideal frictionless life that just allows me to do way more work and be way happier, I want to say, with the work that I do than most other people can. So friction is anything that needs improvement or optimization. Even if something is performing well, if you think that it can function better, there's probably at least a tiny bit of friction there. Knowing this, what we're going to do today is we're going to thoroughly examine our business and our personal lives to identify as many of these friction points as humanly possible. Then we're going to build a very big comprehensive list that we can use to start making positive habits easier to maintain than negative habits harder to do and easier to discard. This exercise is going to take you between 30 to 60 minutes total. If it takes longer than that, you're probably not doing it as effectively or as on course as you should be. So just use that sort of as a barometer. All right, so before we begin, some important points you should know before we start. The first is that the whole purpose of this exercise is not to solve all of this friction. You're not going to solve it, and I don't want you to worry about solving it. All we're going to be doing is creating a list, and then you can worry about whether or not you can take care of it afterwards. As you'll find, some of the points are going to be quite difficult. Maybe living with your parents is friction or something like that if you're still living at home. Maybe, I don't know, some of your relationships are friction, but they're not necessarily things that you need to act on right now. The point that I'm making is that you writing this down does not mean that you're committing to solving it. I'm not holding a gun to your head, and this exercise is not meant to make you hold one to your own. On some level, I'm saying this because on some level you fear explicitly verbalizing what that friction is because you think that by verbalizing it, well, now you have to do something about it. You don't. All we're doing is we're just taking stock. We're just making a big list of things in our life that could be better. Whether or not they actually end up better, whether or not you end up changing them, it's totally up to you to decide later. So how to set this up? I'd find a notebook or a phone app or a spreadsheet, or, me, I like my Google Doc, so I'd open up a new Google Doc. I would name it Lifestyle Audit. And then what I would do is I would follow each of these 6 sets of prompts in the next section. The moment that you start each, set a timer for 5 minutes, and then all your task is to list as many points of friction as you can during this period. Okay? You don't necessarily have to do it for just 5 minutes. If you find ideas still flowing at the end of the 5 minutes, you can keep on going. It's not super crucial that you stick just to 5. The point is you just know that you're going to have to continue down this list logically. You don't get lost in thought. All right, so the first prompt is a mindful walkthrough. So what I want you to do is to walk through your daily routine in your head and then look for places that need improvement. Do you wake up on time? Do you have some type of defined morning routine? Do you waste time deciding what to eat for breakfast every day? Are you standing right by the fridge and you're like, should I make this? Should I make that? Are you using the most efficient commute in order to get to where you need to get, your office, your work, or that sort of thing? And are you maximizing the value of the time that you spend on transit? What I mean by that is, I used to commute for about 45 minutes every single day. And for 45 minutes a day, I would just listen to music as I woke up. And that's cool. But eventually I realized, hey, I have an extra 45 minutes a day that I could do tons of cool shit with. So I started putting on YouTube videos of creators that were a little bit further ahead of me in a specific niche or industry. And I would end up learning a ton over the course of the year that I did that. Fast forward to work or school. Do you have physical discomforts? Do you have all the tools that you need in order to do work, school, or whatever you're doing, constantly well? Are there colleagues or individuals or cohort or people just around you that cause friction, or people that you need to maybe communicate more with? Do you ask for help when it's necessary for you to do so? Do you know when to stay silent when it's necessary for you to do so? Is there unproductive time that you are constantly wasting during meetings or projects or classes or tasks or sales calls? Do you take care of yourself during the day? And then let's consider the evening at home as well. Do you waste time deciding where or what to eat every single day? Are you again curled in front of the fridge or scrolling through DoorDash or something of that nature? Are there hobbies that you want to try, but maybe you haven't tried hobbies yet? Are there enjoyable activities you want to engage in your life that you are missing out on? Are you making consistent progress on your side projects and the hustles on this business and on other business? Do you go to bed on time? How is your sleep quality? Do you have like a little smartwatch or something like that where you can monitor it? That is the first mindful walkthrough. And I don't just want you to do this while listening to me, because this wasn't a full 5 minutes. By all means, after you're done listening to me, read all this stuff out, go through this yourself and try and write down as many issues that you see with that part of your day as humanly possible. The second walkthrough is of hobbies, habits, and skills. In this case, I want you to review your regular activities. Are there habits you intend to drop, or maybe habits you intend to develop, but you still haven't yet? For each hobby or habit, just ask yourself the following questions. Do you do each of these hobbies or habits enough? Maybe one of them is going to the gym or going for walks or running or something of that nature. Do you do this habit too much? Are there ways to improve your experience? Could you buy things that could make your experience better? Maybe there's some things that, would make weightlifting easier. Could you do it at a different place or time? Should you do it with others or alone? Maybe you could find a way to eat lunch with other people or something like that. Perhaps you have skills to practice. Are you as proficient as you want to be in those skills? Do you practice regularly? Have you plateaued by overtraining? Are there minor recurring issues that prevent you from improving? Or maybe there are some new directions you haven't explored that might indirectly enhance your abilities. These are all great questions to ask regarding how you spend your time doing hobbies, habits, and skills. The third walkthrough is of space. Now, space is extraordinarily important to psyche and to your ability to do the things that you want to do consistently on a daily basis. What I want you to do is examine your living space or your workspace and your vehicle if you drive one. Based off of that, these areas that you have full control over, what would you change? Your space should be functional. Is there clutter that you navigate around daily? Are your chairs and tables at optimal heights for you? Are you always leaning over or maybe on your tippy toes to do things? Is your bed comfortable? Are there items around like, towels, pens, notebooks, papers? Does your computer need organizing? Are there important things that deserve a more central position in your day? And have you designated specific places for simple things like glasses, wallets, phones, watches, that sort of thing? Now, in addition to your space being functional, your space should also be aesthetically pleasing. Do any pieces of furniture or equipment stick out weirdly? Do your walls feel drab and depressing? Are there carpet stains or dust parts that draw your eye and reduce your happiness every time you see them? Are you maybe tired of the art on your walls? Maybe you think it's time for a change. And in addition to the physical space, the digital space can be just as important. Do you think that you have enough screens? Is it easy for you to do things, or do you find yourself repeating tasks that you can automate? Do you use all the browser extensions and keyboard shortcuts? Have you spent 15 minutes just going through Google Chrome's keyboard shortcuts and memorizing your top 3? Is there a voice in your head that urges you to learn new software tools or approaches that you just always ignore? Probably. Time and attention is our fourth walkthrough. People and activities demand your attention. What is missing from your life that would let you manage your time more effectively? Now, I find personally that many activities are bottomless time sinks. You watch shows or play games that you don't actually really give a shit about. Do you get pulled into unproductive conversations with people that you don't really care about? Do you find yourself scrolling endlessly on social media? Check your screen time. Are there classes or meetings or commutes or projects or business deals that drain your energy for the rest of the day, but don't really make you that much money? Do you have strategies to protect yourself from time sinks? Do you have little pieces of friction that you can implement to make these things harder? In addition, let's focus on some things that you overlook. Do you often make mistakes on autopilot? Are there friends or family members that you've neglected or grown distant from? Are there conversations where you zone out, but if you were physically present, you would have gained a lot more value? Maybe there's a childhood dream you've forgotten. Sometimes trivial distractions lead to massive setbacks. Are there minor recurring physical discomforts that are draining your efficiency? Does the weather hinder your exercise routine? Do you want to live somewhere else? Is there something that always diverts your attention from work? It comes up every 5 or 10 minutes, something that prevents you from focusing. Our fifth walkthrough is on blind spots. Now, our biggest points of friction can hide in blind spots, and these are much harder to identify. What I want us to do is to take an external view of our life. If you pretend for a second that you are me, and I, Nick Sarayev, am evaluating you objectively. If I were to be straight with you, do you think that I would say that you're achieving your potential? What would I say is your biggest weakness realistically? What do you think point out is the one obstacle that's holding you back from reaching your goals or achieving, in our case, financial success? Do you have irrational attachments to parts of your identity, or do you routinely overestimate or underestimate your abilities? What do I say about you that surprises you? What behaviors would annoy me? What behaviors would I appreciate? Is there advice that I would keep on giving you? Now imagine instead of me, maybe it's your best friend. What would your best friend say? What deep insights are you missing? If you were the protagonist of your life, what genre would that life be? Look to admiration and jealousy for insight. Are you the person you most admire? It's a beautiful question. Are you the person that you most want to be? Or are you the person that you are the most proud of? If the answer to that question is no, you have the power to change that. What skills or traits do other people have around you that you aspire to? The last thing I'll mention is fear and trembling. The shadows that we avoid can hide the most valuable opportunities. What would you consider your greatest fears and anxieties? Do you have courage? Are there essential actions that you know you need to take in your life that you don't? Are there truths that you're afraid to acknowledge? Is there anything that you lie to yourself about your potential, about the people that you surround yourself with, about your family, about your relationships? Consider your social circle. Are there good people that you avoid? Are there conversation topics that make you uncomfortable? Maybe are there comments that cause you to lose your composure? If somebody says something negative to you on the internet, does that just drive you off the wall and make you lose it? Think about the past and the future as far as you can see. What deadlines in your life make you anxious? Is there a type of person that you fear becoming? Or are you most afraid of being stagnant? Do you trust your past self and your future self to deliver you the sort of life that you want? Now, after you're done with these 6 mindful walkthroughs, what I want you to do is I want you to sort these. Realistically, as you went through this process, you probably have somewhere between 50 to 100 points of friction. I came up with 79. When I did mine, it took me, 45 minutes or so or something like that. But what we need to do now is we need to do just a little bit of housekeeping in order to prepare ourselves to be able to do something with this list later. What I want us to do is to input all of these points of friction that you've just discovered into a spreadsheet and then add a column called difficulty beside every point. So you should have 2. There should be column 1 with the name of said friction point, then another column right beside it that says difficulty. We're going to score difficulty out of 10. 1 is, hey, I could solve this right now. It'll take me 5 minutes. And 10 is, holy shit, just thinking about this causes me existential panic. What I'd like you to do is sort them in increasing order of difficulty. So the easiest ones should be the first ones on your list. What we're going to do is over the coming days, we're going to systematically work through this list and we're going to focus on eliminating the easy ones first so that we build a sense of momentum and our habits grow more and more powerful over time. And what we'll do is by the end of the month, you'll have taken major definite action towards improving on a lot of the things that have held you back. We're going to knock out 5 every few days. By the end of month 1, you're not going to be in all of them, not even close. But you'll have started making actionable pushes towards improving your life in ways that, had you not stopped and considered and done like an active lifestyle audit, you probably never would have solved. Good luck. I wish you the best on this. This is by far one of the most rewarding exercises I've ever done in my life, and I'm sure it'll be the same for you.